It got a lot of people gunning for Arteta this evening. You see it in the super chat here. Do you think he got the approach and tactics wrong tonight for Arsenal?
He does hold a lot of the blame because, let's be honest, first half is on the players, second half is on the manager to make a difference, and he did not make any changes. Tactically, we looked like we were doing the same things pretty much going into the second half. We slightly pushed on to try to get a little bit more attacking later in the game, but it is on the manager today. And people want to blame the players on why we lost. It's small margins. These games can be won or lost based on one error, one moment, one goal. And defensively, we were way too open in the first 20 minutes. We gave them too much of the time. And that's on the manager not having these guys drilled properly to start the game. And later on in the game, we couldn't get ourselves in the attacking area as well. We couldn't get too many opportunities. When we did get opportunities, don't get me wrong, Martinelli and Trossard didn't take their chances. But today I'm putting it on the manager over the players. I do think Arteta holds a lot of the blame. He got slightly outclassed by Luis Enrique, and they could have, as much as we could have scored 2 goals, this tie could have been buried if they took some of their chances also. So it is a 50-50 game. It ended 1-0, and it seems a lot worse when we're watching the game, because there was times where PSG were just simply the better team, simply keeping possession a lot better, and very impressive by certain individuals that I did not think were as good. Joao Neves really impressed me. His last-ditch tackles, his ability to just be everywhere at the same time. Vitinha, everyone talks about him. Their midfield was head and shoulders above ours today, and that's really where the game was won and lost. And that comes down back to Thomas Partey's yellow card picked up versus Real Madrid. It changed the whole game because Trossard would not have played. Moreno would have played up top. Those long balls, we would have had an option to actually ping to get those balls and to play off of, and the game would have been different. Now, I'm not saying the tie's over, but just staying on this game, Terry. I would say Arteta got outclassed, and it is on the manager. Now, that's one thing. We can talk about the players. Let's be honest. Raya, Donnarumma, both goalkeepers, outstanding performances. Raya saved some good shots. Donnarumma saved some good chances. Both teams had good opportunities, but the goalkeeper stood up. Defensively, I didn't think either team really had defensive shockers. Mendes did really well. Mazlou did really well. Timber had some shocking moments, but Kvaratskhelia is a baller, so he's going to do those things to anybody in the world. People talking about Saliba. Saliba, he has been giving people nerves a little bit, but that is down to probably just because he made a couple of mistakes. People are a little bit more nervous, and it is a semifinal. I find we keep recycling the same old takes when it comes to mentality and Arsenal's mentality in these games. Mentality is not the reason why we lost 1-0 today. It's really down to execution and the fact that PSG were clinical with the chance that they had. That was a really good goal. We gave them so much space in the box. They took it very well. And any team that you give that much space to, they're gonna punish you. Let's be honest.
Igal, compare the Madrid game to today. You can't tell me the mentality is different.
Stop it. It's not about mentality. There's things when you lose a game and it's such small margins, you can't just go back to the same old takes from 2 years ago and say mentality is weak. We just don't have it. That's bullshit.
So the mentality was the same as Real Madrid today?
The mentality was the same. The execution was poor.
That's just completely wrong.
I agree with Igal. I think
the mentality was the same. Execution was poor. You guys keep coming on here and saying the same old recycled takes from 2 years ago. It's not going to work, bro. Reality is this team is not mentally weak. Declan Rice is not mentally weak. Some of these players are not mentally weak. They don't fold and just fall over.
They're mentally weak today.
Advantage of them. It was a situation where it was a situation where execution-wise, PSG were better at the execution. We could not execute what we needed to do in the final third. We did not go into this game saying to ourselves we're inferior to PSG. We did not go into this game playing and saying, you know what, PSG is just better than us. Do whatever you want to do. I did not see the game the way you guys seen it. I did think we got outclassed, but we got outclassed based on chess moves. It was not a situation where we got overpowered. It was not a situation where they're head over heels better than us. It was just their midfield was solid defensively and offensively, and it allowed them to get better transitions. It allowed them to be in better dangerous areas. And guess what? At the end of the day, they won. They only leave the game with a 1-0 lead, and it's not the end of the world. The tie's not done, but there is some players we need to speak about, and there's bigger issues than mentality. Our captain, for example, you've mentioned this many times. I've come on here defending the captain. Today was unacceptable. Today was unacceptable for Martin Odegaard. He's one of our. He had half of the touches that Declan Rice had. He had less touches
half
than
the chances.
He was utterly. He disappeared. I would say useless at certain points in the game. We had a player in Ethan Winery come on for 5 minutes and do more in 5 minutes than Martin Odegaard did in 89 minutes. And I'm not somebody who comes on here and is ever negative, but Martin Odegaard today, that is a disgraceful performance. And after the game, for you to come out there and to be the captain and to speak, show us on the pitch what the hell we need from you, because you've not shown it in a long time. How long are you going to say you're injured? How long are you going to use the excuse of you being tired? How long are we going to use excuses for Martin Odegaard? I'm sorry, Martin Odegaard, you need to get your act together, because Declan Rice gets criticized for poor performances. Every single player in this team gets criticized for poor performances. Martin Odegaard is no longer poor performances. It's a poor season. It's a poor month. It's a poor half a year. What on earth are you doing? At this point, it's not about stripping captaincy. It's about, do you deserve to even start away to Paris? Because the performances you've been putting in are so shocking that I don't see you bringing much to the game. And Partey is so crucial to the next game. Physicality-wise, the ability to have another person in the midfield who can defend. Our defensive awareness for the opening goal was shocking. If you see a still image of where Dembele took the shot, nobody was near him. That was on Mikel Moreno, that was on Odegaard, and that was on Declan Rice. The midfield trio did not track anybody coming into the box late, and they did not even follow the defenders. They just let the back line do the job. Moreno was out of position. Rice was helping out Timber, and Odegaard was the one who was literally trying to run back.
So just some breaking news just come out from Fabrice Hawkins. Looks like Dembele has suffered a hamstring pull.
Fucking
Just
hell. Nobody wants to see
three
that.
less goals next week.
Bummer.
Just putting it out there. Like,
Nobody wants to see that. But guess what? If we win now, people are going to say you're lucky Dembele got injured.
Well, let them do that, Gal, but don't
cares?
focus on that. But I don't think that changes anything.
my final
Look at
thing-
Gonzalo Ramos. Yeah,
I'll be real. I couldn't
he
give
was
a
in the back
shit
end.
if people said. I couldn't give a
final
shit
thing-
if people tell us that Dembele got injured. That's the reason we won. If I
My
get into
final
that
thing that's
final,
going to trigger
I hook back,
everybody
look, I don't care,
is
bro.
the honest truth. This goes back to the January transfer window. That's on the board once again. Because if we're talking about being in the semifinal of the Champions League, and we're depending on Leandro Trossard as our striker and Martinelli missing one-on-ones again, and we have no options off the bench. Literally barely any options. I looked at that bench today and I said, Raheem Sterling, he's not coming on. Fuck that. Nathan, no chance. Are we gonna put in anybody else? Not really. So I can look at Arteta and say, where are your substitutions? But it's also this is largely down to
substitutions, yeah,
our
girl.
mistakes in the
Habibi, there's
January window.
Habibi, there's substitutions. Sorry,
Who?
sorry.
Bro,
you could bring
who
on
you bringing
Kieran
on for
Tierney.
Trossard?
You can bring on Kieran Tierney. Yeah, sorry, Shanna. I'm just quickly gonna say this. You could bring on Kieran Tierney. You can take Miles Skelly into the midfield. You could put Mikel Moreno up top. That's the substitution there. It was there. The layup was there, bro. And the guy fumbled the bag. I'm sorry,
right.
but the layup was there. I'm sorry, but
Guess what?
Arteta has to take criticism for that, because it is diabolical that he sat there and I can't lie. Do you know
I've
how bad it
criticized
was?
his substitutions.
Hold on. Go. 1 second, Habibi. 1 second. This is how bad it was, yeah? In my fucking watch along, people are taking bets on when we're gonna make substitutions. People are saying 75th minute, 86th minute. Bro, somebody said the 89th minute, bro. They were like, yeah, I won, man. Big up. Bro, it's crazy how people constantly say about this guy's substitutions. They're poor, bro. It's poor, bro.
just to lighten the mood slightly, just to lighten the mood a little bit, right? What did you guys make of your tifo?
Shit.
It's very basic.
They turned down a fan tifo for that. Like, is that what we're doing here? That was shite.
What killed me? They didn't even hang it right.
No.
Yeah, bro. It was drooping, bro. Yeah.
Do you know what? That sums up our whole night, that tifo. That is literally it.
Man.
Shannon,
did you see our trade? Oh, sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah, no. It's only because someone's done like a collage of like all other clubs, and in yours, It's really like when you see it next to other people's, it's
If you
so
look at it, the
it's
whole
like
thing
the
was-
way white people make chicken. Do you know what I mean? It's just terrible.
If you look at it, the whole thing was a joke. The game was a joke. The tifo was a joke. Our training was a joke. Did you see the video of us all holding hands like we're playing what is it? Duck Duck Goose. I swear to God, Terry, I'll send you the photo. Us all holding hands in a circle, listening to music. I swear to God, that is what we were doing yesterday.
Listen,
These
boys.
man out singing here, singing Kumbaya.
You know what that
bro.
is?
Hey.
That's fake outrage. That's fake
It's
No one else
outrage.
like Mikel Arteta.
No,
is
do you know
there?
what? Right, I gotta say this. Right, big up Lee Gunner and people that don't like Arteta for a moment because he does give them fuel. Like he does give them fuel. Like, why would you make if you're doing something like that? You've got to make it completely behind closed doors.
It has to be, bro. Go inside the fucking the building facility and fucking do it in there, bro. You guys want
No, but what, you know something?
bro.
This is
It's part of the process.
this is like my 2-year-old son getting mad and fake crying because I feel like this is what we do as fans. We fake cry about things that don't matter, and if we win, we won't give a shit. So it's like stop fake crying over something that's bullshit.
I understand that you are right, Igal, in the sense of him making you hold hands wouldn't have made you probably isn't a massive factor in making you win a game and isn't one in making you lose a game. It's just when it goes wrong because it's public, like Declan Rice at the beginning, it's not his fault they're filming him. Keep the ball, we die. Within a couple of minutes, you lose the ball, we get passed around, they score. It's just sometimes these things right themselves, don't they? And you can't help it. Shannon, what are you here to say, bro?
Look, guys, I feel like we taking this loss, I don't know, very almost personally and not looking at it in context. Look, we 1-0 down. It's not in my opinion, everything that could have went wrong tonight, from the performance, to the tifo, to the substitutions, went wrong. I think PSG played a very brilliant game. They overloaded the midfield very well. Dembele dropped in, and we missed Partey in there. We missed another physical midfield presence in there because I think Dembele was getting a lot of space. I think a lot of PSG's midfielders were getting a lot of time on the ball in a one-on-one situation. And I think that's where Enrique, and I have to actually agree with Igal, I think it's not a mentality thing that was the issue today. I generally think it was a tactical issue. And the problem with that is we didn't have any alternatives. If Jorginho is in the team even, I think we have a better performance in the midfield because it allows Rice to press with Odegaard, someone that like Jorginho or Partey to get on the ball and actually help us keep possession. I think we were very poor with the ball. That's what was also like quite surprising from us tonight. So I'm not really upset because I think, listen, it's all to play for. I mean, we could have easily been a couple more goals down. I do think if you look at the chances we had tonight, it does give me confidence that we can cause them problems in Paris. That's what I think a lot of fans should take some heart in, is that we had good chances. Another day, Trossard and Martinelli scored those goals. And like you said earlier, we're talking about a different game. We're not really talking about the context. We're just talking about, wow, Arsenal came back from a goal down and, they've won the game. So, look, all to play for. I understand the frustrations with Arteta. I also do feel like the substitutions could have been earlier. But it's like, what message do you see in taking your captain off at the 60th minute for 18-year-old? Like what does it send to the rest of the team and to the fan base? So I think it's kind of an awkward situation, and I think maybe you could have taken Trossard out, put Marino, up front, and then put Tierney on the wing, try something different. But ultimately, like I said, what could have went wrong today did. I think Arteta learned. I think the players learned. I think us as the fans, we were very confident coming up against PSG tonight, and I think maybe we've also had a slice of humble pie to realize that, listen, they are a much better team than what they were earlier in the season, but at the same time realize that we are not as bad as what we showed tonight. Hopefully we can go in the second leg and do a lot better. I think that's the most we can do. I think having Partey back, moving Marino back into the centre forward position, I think that will help a lot, and I think that will free up Saka and Martinelli even more. So I think second leg, all to play for, but overall not too disappointed. I think, it's halftime.